Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the DC Universe Classics ARTEMIS figure. This is actually a variant of Wonder Woman. It might have been a chase. I'm not sure if it was particularly rare, but it was not as common as Wonder Woman. And it's one of my favorite DC Universe Classics female figures. I think they did a really good job. There are a few flaws here and there, and I'll point those out, but overall it's a really nice figure. She stands, not much of a surprise, 6.5 inches tall, pretty standard for the DC Universe Classics. And she has some new parts. She's not just a repaint of Wonder Woman. The head is all new completely, with newly sculpted hair, new face. Paint job's pretty good. There's a little bit of a smudge on the star, and it's not a perfect paint job, but it's definitely good enough. There's shading throughout the hair. They got a little bit of glue on the hair from where they glued in the ponytail. It's not nearly as bad as some of the issues we've seen recently, so I didn't even think much of it at the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But the newly sculpted hair is pretty cool. The torso is the same. I think the arms are all the same. The legs are all the same. We have the sculpted boots, painted very nicely though, and then we have some newly sculpted feet. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they added that instead of just doing a solid repaint. These little feather things are done really well. She has a whole new belt with the lasso over here, and then this quiver for her arrows, which is done fairly well. I mean, it's not great, but for a, I think it was like a $12 figure at the time, it's pretty darn good, so I'm happy about that. The skin tones are really nice on this figure. They're nice and flat. They don't look glossy or shiny or anything like that. And same with the rest of the uniform. Other than the gold, everything's nice and flat. She also comes with a really cool arrow, or a bow and arrow accessory. It's solid, so you can't really do much with it. It's not going to give you that much posability, but you do have some options in that you can have her just holding it like she's getting ready to draw it back. And it's done fairly well with a variety of paint and decent sculpt work. It's not great, but it's definitely good enough. I'll go through the articulation really quickly, and then I'll throw up some photos of the figure and some poses, and then that'll be it for the review. So the head is on a ball peg. We actually get some pretty decent forward and back. It doesn't go up too much, but you can bring it down, and then you can have the full swivel. You can lean it from side to side a little bit, but not a whole lot. Standard ball hinge shoulders, they work really well. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow gives you about 90 degrees, and then each wrist has a swivel. Ab crunch doesn't go very far forward, which is standard for the DCUC female figures, unfortunately. It goes okay back, so that's alright. There is a waist twist in there, but it's fairly stiff usually, so just be careful. This is a separate piece though, and it's kind of soft, so it will allow for the waist twist. The hips, pretty standard for the DCUC females. You can get them about that far forward, so about 90 degrees. They go out to the side very well also. Don't go too far back. We do have a thigh swivel in here, a single jointed knee. It'll give you about 90 degree bend. And then we have an ankle pivot, which has pretty good range of motion. And we actually have an ankle rocker. So this is definitely a very solid figure. I do recommend it 100% if you're a DCUC fan and you like this character, or just like figures that look good and are executed well. Can't really go wrong with this one. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely a good one. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the photos at the end, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.